much right when I don't need it to. Well, you don't be a dick. Huh. Got my settings. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I know I am. Sorry about the lighting. I'm having some issues with getting some new lighting, so I apologize for the huge amount of glare that you're seeing. We're going to go ahead and just get started right away, so I'm just going to switch this camera around real quick. And that way, y'all can see what we're working on today. So obviously we're working on this nice little build we've got right here. You can see the basics of the library. It looks very empty. There's no windows, no nothing just yet. But we've got our baby dragons. We've got our big dragon. We've got some books made. So let's go ahead and pull these guys off the base, because we don't need them on there right now. Because today we are going to be adding a couple of little tree planters. I've got a couple of pre-cuts right here, so we have those. We're going to mix up a mixture of Mod Podge and plaster so we can coat them. We will use the same titanium white paint that we did the last time. I hate that it disappears on my phone. Thank you. Yeah, they do. I saw those on Amazon, actually. I hate that when I'm trying to read chat, it disappears. Like, it sits there on my phone for like 5 seconds, and then it's gone. And it's like, oh, you're doing that to me. Okay, fine. Such is life, I suppose. So we're going to just go ahead and get this made up. I am going to have to replace my plaster. Oh no. That's right, I have a big bag of Sculptamold for just in cases. So, we do have something. I'm going to use the Sculptamold to make the portion around the trees. Alright. Take our tool. We want to start stirring it around. Then we want to get some water. To get it to a more brushable consistency. As you can see, I'm making it kind of it's just a bit brushable, because we just need it to be able to go onto the bases that we're going to be using the Sculptamold on. Alright, now this is a nice brushable consistency, which makes it easy to apply, just like we did with the walls. We're also going to fill in any gaps that we missed on the walls, but first, where is my terrain paste brush? There it is. Took me a minute to find my terrain paste brush. Something rather important, apparently. Alright, so we're just going to try and coat this over real fast. I will just be able to re-punch through that hole because of the way it's set up. But we want to make certain that we get all of the pink as much as possible hidden. Time for the precarious hold. Oh no. Just want to make certain we get all of it covered like this. I don't mind if there's a bit of a gritty texture to it. As long as we get every bit of it touched up. And then we can move on to the other one and give it the exact same treatment. This way, they will be protected from anything further that we do, say priming or whatever. I personally am not going to be priming this. That's why I chose the plaster colors that I did. And so, or why I chose to color the Mod Podge plaster terrain mix the way I did. But we're just getting these nice and coated. We just want to make certain that these have full coverage, because you don't want to have any of this exposed, because it will make the whole project look silly. If anything, it'll make it look silly. We just want to make certain we get this spread on all surfaces. Getting it into each piece of the foam's texture. And getting our hands thoroughly Mod Podged up in the process. You know, you're not crafting if you're not getting dirty. I mean, what? Oh. And then I'm going to touch this up real quick while y'all are paying attention to that, because this had a spot where my hand had been. Alright, so got these baby dragons, which will be going in there much later. Give me a moment. Stop tearing up the carpet, cat. Zips or not, doesn't give you the right to tear up the carpet. We're going to go ahead and wash out my cup real quick, because we don't need any of this anymore. And the reason we don't need that anymore is because the next thing we're going to be doing is using the Sculptamold once those dry. So we need to give those some time to dry. So we will prime the bookshelf, alchemy table, and regular table. We just move these off to the back here. Off to the back burner, so to speak. And I will grab my painter's tablet piece. Silicone painter's piece. Yes, it looks like this. But, you know, what do you expect? It holds paint. Alright, I'm just going to move you guys over just a little bit. Give you a different angle. Move some other projects out of the way so I can get to my paints. Because we need the primer. Put you in there. Primer brush. Man, that was a stiff brush. Oh my goodness. Move the trees out of the way. Those are the trees that will be going into those bases. And normally I would use an airbrush. I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm having issues with my airbrush at the moment. And I thought it was a cleanliness issue, so I gave it a full cleaning. Turns out it wasn't. So unfortunately, that wasn't a thing. We're just going to go ahead and get some primer onto this bookshelf real fast, because we're definitely going to want that ready to paint, if not in this episode and stream, definitely in the next. We want to make certain that when we're using the brush, that anytime we see it start filling in gaps like that, we want to just kind of get that out of there, because it'll build up and dry in there, and that can actually ruin the look you're going for. See how it kind of piles up in places. So you just want to kind of dry it out of your brush as you go so that it stops filling in the gaps. And you have a more uniform look this way. Yeah, you just got to get the whole thing primed up like this. Now that we're onto the side details, we can do a little bit less finicky behaviors with it. We can just kind of just get it out there and paint it. Want to make certain we get a liberal coating of it on all surfaces except for the bottom, because we don't have to really worry about the bottom. We're not painting that. That'll be glued to the base. And we just want to make certain that we keep as much detail as possible while we're priming. Because yes, although the primer will dry, sometimes you will lose the detail you're looking for. And that's never good. Alright, so we've got that primed. We can set it aside. Let's get the table primed next. And because this has a wood graining in it, you'll note that I'm back and forth just as if I were priming a wooden fence. As this is actually the best method for anything with a wood grain, because it allows you to, as you can see, keep the grain a bit. You just kind of want to clear the grain a bit more. And we can move to the underside here, since I've got a hold of a nice area there. Want to just make certain we follow again the graining here, because there's still graining underneath the table. This is a wooden table after all, and it's based around, you know, like knights in armor times and fantasy realm stuff, as it is part of our Fairy Gardens worlds. And I will check chat in just a moment. I apologize that I can't really keep an eye on it while I am looking at my phone, because apparently it disappears so fast I'll never see it. So that's a thing. But it is what it is, and I will be right over there to check chat in just a moment. We just want to make certain we get everything primed nicely. We've got some wood grain texture here, so we want to follow that. Again, we want to try and keep as much of the buildup out of there as possible. We want to go over the top with just a nice light coating, because there's a lot of activity up here that I would like to keep very obvious. And some of these bottle tops are very fragile. Same thing for this, which I have already broken. I broke during clipping it off of its standoffs. All of these things I have 3D printed, so they're all out of my brand new Anycubic 3D printer. Come the end of July, I was going to do a giveaway come the end of June. Unfortunately, I had gotten very busy, so that did not happen. But we will be having a giveaway come sometime here in July for a 3D printer that is a filament printer. So there is that. Alright. Now it looks like our bases are getting close to dry. We've got some stuff drying still. So I will be right back. I'm going to go check chat after I wash my hands, because alright, now let me bop on over to see chat real fast. Yeah, it actually is extremely hard to get fine details right, especially in my case, I have to use lenses to magnify what I'm doing, and so there's a big portion of that that goes on. We get this stuff out of the way. And we can go ahead and get those trees in to their bases. Because they just go right in nicely. And then we will do the materials for getting those taken care of. While these dry from priming. Alright, so again we'll need our cup. This time we won't need our spackle brush. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse that out all the way. Get it put away. Alright. In there, let's get this put away. So we're going to need a little bit of some raw umber, because we'll be using Sculptamold here. And we want to make it look like it is dirt. So I usually use a little bit of some raw umber, a little bit of some Van Dyke brown. These are all earth tone pigments, by the way, just so everyone knows. And then where is my natural brown oxide? There we go. A little bit of natural brown oxide. Sounds like my 3D printer is done, but I will deal with that after the stream. So it can just sit there for now. Let's grab some of our Sculptamold. Which way does it twist? I don't know. You ever notice twist ties like to twist tie themselves in like 80 different ways, and you're just like, why did you do that? Why? Alright, so we're just going to need just enough Sculptamold for the two top pieces. And we'll get that going. Then we'll need a little bit of Mod Podge and water for this. But this will allow me to have kind of a dirt kind of texture and color around the base of those trees. And since they're in planters, we don't need to put grass and things in there with those. Let's get that separated a bit. Get our Mod Podge into it, and I will check chat again here in just a little bit. A little bit of water. We want to get this mixed. It's kicking up dust. A little bit more water, because we want to get those colors to activate. Because those colors will mix to this really nice, natural dirt looking brown. And then that will allow me to give it the standard dirt washes that it would otherwise get to look like natural dirt all the way. And then of course dry brushings and things like that. But today we're just going to kind of get this done, because I don't have too long to stream today, unfortunately. I wish I did, but I don't. Then we're just going to go ahead, and I'm going to put on a glove so that I can apply this with a hand. So we want to grab ourselves a nitrite glove. Oh, I apologize. I bumped my thing. Sorry for the camera jog. That's my bad. I've got the tripod right in front of where I'm working. So, unfortunately. Alright, so we just want to get some of this out. And this is why I'm using a glove. Is because getting it spread out without getting it everywhere. Luckily, we will be retouching up these sides with a dry brushing, but right now we need to just get this spread. So let's just go ahead and kind of spread that around the base of this tree. And this is why, like I said, guys, we didn't need a whole lot. We just needed enough to get the natural dirt kind of look around the tree here. And then it looks just like that. So now we have a nice little tree and a planter. We'll do the same thing with this one. And we only need just a little bit. I'll slap that down onto the side like so. Clean off excess, because you don't want the excess getting everywhere. Again, like I said, I knew it was going to get down the side like that. We're going to be touching that all up anyways. And so we just want to kind of get this sculpted around the base of the tree, just like we did with that last one. And then we have ourselves a pair of nice little planters. Just like that. Alright. So, that is getting a couple of planters done. We've got our bookshelf and tables done. I've got a bunch of little miniature books that I've completely done where they've got, this is the back cover to one. You can see here it's the Monsters Compendium, which is, of course, a big thick book. And so I've done a lot of little artwork on each book. So we have each book fully done out. So they look like, your classic actual book. I've intentionally got one that's going to be sitting open like this. So that's that one. We have one that's going to be sitting with its pages open. So we've got this one here that's going to have its pages open. I will still do artwork on the back, but it's going to be glued down like this. So thank you. I enjoy hand making these. I will put out a tutorial on how to make these 4 dioramas. But as you can see, like when you take care of what you're doing, you usually end up with a pretty decent piece of art, as it were. Since we are approaching the end of the time that I have, I will bring over some dioramas that I have completed, and I will even show you guys some that I have also been working on. So give me one moment to clean out the material cup. Well, I'm going to have to just replace that. That's garbage. Oof. But I do have to clean my hands. And then we are waiting for those things to dry, which could take till tomorrow. So I will start showing you guys some of the dioramas that have been finalized. Go ahead and move these out of the way. You guys got a good view of everything here. So this is a very unfortunate goblin. He has unfortunately found himself far too far away from the goblin lands and has recently run into, as you can see quite clearly, a lycanthrope, which in the fairy garden worlds eat goblins. They don't eat people. Humans are almost nil in this world. They do eat goblins, and this poor guy found himself far too far away from the goblin territories. But as you can see, it's just a beautiful standard diorama. These trees here with the flowering edges, I bought in a big cluster bag of like 58 trees. And then these ones I made myself. These 3 here, and then this one bush that you see here. I made that myself. All the rest of these all came out of the bag. And then I just kind of went over everything with a once over. And it really turned out well, I think. You know what? So do I. Welcome to the lakeside. So this is the lakeside. As you can see, we have several characters here. Let me give a quick zoom in. Whoa! Extreme close. No, just no. Okay, so what this scene here is this is a lakeside near a waterfall. As you can see, I've gone out of my way to make the water look very turbulent because there's a waterfall nearby. But this is Leanne and Leroy Jenkins, the Goblin twins. They are currently having an argument. What, you don't like the texture of the dirt? Alright. I think I've got it. Anyhow, so this is Leanne and Leroy Jenkins, the Goblin twins. What, you didn't like the texture of the dirt? I like the texture of the dirt personally. I mean, I think it looks really cool, but I guess not. Because not everybody's into that kind of thing. Anyhow, they're having an argument. You see, Leanne is a drunkard, which is typical of female goblins, and he's a mining addict. And he's a mining addict. And they're having an argument about their addictions. Meanwhile, their argument has attracted Raddington Roaster, who is the chicken, and their friend Packard, the pack animal, who is also a Komodo dragon. But that's this whole scene. I'm going to zoom out just a bit more so you guys can see better. So now that you guys can see a bit better, you can see the whole scene here. I've done it inside. This is an old Zilla container for spiders and snakes and things. I don't have the pets for those anymore, so I have pretty much just kind of gotten rid of the edging pieces, the lockdown pieces, and then filled it with this scene. Did the sides in black 3.0 so they are non-distracting, and you get to see this beautiful front to this lake. You also get to see this beautiful diorama. Alright, let me grab the next one. This is my completed art challenge. Let me zoom out more. Whoa, hello. Stop zooming in. Ah. Keep zooming in on me. Jeezums. There we go. Hey, look. Now you can actually see the whole thing. So this is the one that I did for our art challenge that was planes, trains, and rockets. You can clearly see that this is like a bullet train. It's a maglev train, so it's on a maglev rail. And this is the Solar Wolf Plays train. This is transporting me currently. This is a hater. He's decided he does not like me anymore and is going to destroy me. His problem is his hard angle there on his angle of attack is probably going to slam him into the train. Either way, we're both goners. It happens, I suppose. But I did that one for the challenge there. Let's see. What else have we got that I've done since? Let's see here. I got this done. This is also light up. So as you can see here, let me go ahead and kill the lights so you can see what this looks like without the lights on. So that's what it looks like. It has a day and night cycle, clearly, but it's meant to be a night scene. And so the events that came with this one is this is Mark, Bob, and Wade, and it's loosely based on the Legend of Barbara animation. That makes the troll Barbara. And this is Wade, Bob, and Mark. So that's the joke. And the joke of the title of this one is Barbara has entered the fight. Now this one is a still life that I did of a swimming hole, as you can see. Stop extreme zooming, you silly cuss. Jesus Christ. Yeah, The Legend of Barbara is one of my favorites. But as you can see, we have a gentleman here on the diving board looking rather cocky. We have a wife and her husband and their twin girls, just kind of watching the swimming hole. We've got this elderly couple here having a conversation about how hot it is outside. Go figure. As we turn this way, we've got a group of 3 friends. One of the ladies is climbing out of the water here, and then we have these pair here. We have this older gentleman here who's walking down the lane, and we have a family back here under this tree. We also have a family sitting here. That end's still a bit sticky. But we have a family sitting here along the shoreline, and then we have our swimmers. And then we have this beautiful waterfall here that runs into this little river. This also has a day and night cycle, but it also has a little secret that I will show you in just a moment. So this is its day cycle. That is its night cycle. It is intentionally set to flicker just a little bit. So that's kind of part of the effect of it, is this light flicker. It's supposed to do that. I have it intentionally set up that way. And it's so that it looks like, an old, light system. But as you can see, it lights up pretty much everything pretty well, even for, being the weird lighting. But, like I said, this has a secret. And I will show you that in just... Would you turn off, you pain... Would you quit being a pain in my butt? Jeezums. Give me one moment and I'll show you the secret. The other secret is that there is a glow. I used a glow paint on the inside there. And so there's plenty of that. Hello, Bentana. I'm sorry I have not gotten that mailed out just yet. Unfortunately, I'm having a lot of red tape on getting that shipped. And the reason for that is because it's supposed to be normally shipped directly to the person who won. And so I've got to do a lot of excessive paperwork to ship it to your friend. So I'm sorry it's taking so long. I am trying to get it done as fast as possible so I can get that sent, okay? These are some things that are part of my sponsorship today, as I am sponsoring myself. Thank God I can actually do that for today. But these are some cube dioramas I have made out of resin. These will be being sold on the Shopify for the channel here soon. This one is a diorama with a little bit of a Minecraft jungle temple. It's got a seahorse. It's also got a sunfish in it. So if you're a big fan of ocean dioramas, this is a good one for you to buy. Just a little bit of something, something. We also have this one here. This is a little frog mage, as you can see, who is casting a windstorm spell, which is why all the plant life is starting to lift up off the ground here and move forward, and why it's got this little bit of a kind of a splayed out ray look to it. These will get polished and things before they get shipped to people, but these are being produced right now for the channel's Shopify shop. Then I have this one here. This is just a standard little, I don't know, I call it a cuss fish because, man, I was cussing an awful lot trying to get this thing to set into that. But it's literally just an angelfish type swimming around in a fishbowl. It was a test, so as you can see, I did not get, everything level when I should have. That's my bad, but this one stays here. It's not getting sold. The proper production model of this will be getting sold. So that's those. I'm just going to leave those right there. I've got one right here I can show you guys that's a work in progress. Also, happy Star Wars summer, everyone. But this is a troop of vacationing stormtroopers who were happened upon by this lovely teenage Rancor. And yes, he is a teenage Rancor. He's not too much taller than these guys. Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good reminder. It also helps keep everything. It's a learning process. Thank you, Bentana. I'm actually very glad that you're here. I'm glad that I could relay that information to you real quick so that you knew what was going on. But this is going to get some water to it. It's only going to be about, just yay high, just up to the base of the dock there. And then what happened is these guys were on vacation when a rowdy young teenage Rancor in Bermuda shorts and shades, found them and decided he was hungry. Hormonally driven teenage Rancor, I'm scared already. I didn't need to know that it was being attacked. But that is one that I've got in progress, so it just kind of sits here. We have the pond here that we've been working on. I got that closer to finished. So we just have this little micro pop pond. I had the Wonder Woman printed out, but unfortunately I printed her a bit small. But it happens. No kidding, huh? Yeah, man, them stormtroopers are about to have a very bad day. But this is just the little pond, our little micropop pond, where we're going to have Solar and the Wonder Woman micropop hanging out. Let's see, what else have I got that I haven't shown you guys yet? These three I haven't shown you guys yet. So starting with the largest of these three, and the star of the first creepypasta for the channel, is our dear Reacher inside of his mind. And you can see he's very much so still in there, hanging out. So that's the whole thing. I'm really glad that I got to show you guys this one. This one was really, really fun to make. It was even more fun to write the story for. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. That was our last upload, was the Reacher. Now going into some more Star Wars, because I love you guys. This is my miniature Mando diorama. That should give you a bit of a closer view of that. And so as you can see, it's just a simple little Mando diorama with Mando sitting there near a tree in a forested area. Just something that came to mind. I had printed out the Mando figure. Now the Mando figure is free. You can download this specific file for 3D printers on cults3d.com under the free files for RPG Tabletop. In fact, everything on this that is a 3D printable is 3D printed. So the base, the Mando figure, all of it, just all 3D printed. And then I went and put all of the foliage on it. I made the tree myself, 3D printed a blank tree that had no foliage on it, coated it with glue, and there you go. And that's pretty much that one. And last but not least, certainly not least, this is AO14. The world's tiniest little pod racer. And it is very tiny, as the pod racer's pod itself is smaller than the tea light that originally was housed in the housing here. So, and this little guy is tiny. Those are computer bolts that make up the front. A Nerf dart that I cut in half, and a couple more computer bolts there at the back to make the rear of the thrusters. And then I just literally used the wire for the light that is his little droid eye there, following along with this to make it look like it actually belongs. And that's pretty much it. It didn't get a whole lot. There is more that I'm going to be adding to it later on, but that's just it for now. And then other than that, I don't have a lot of other dioramas that I haven't already shown you guys. So since we've got so much stuff that we're waiting on to dry, I will turn this to look at the kitchen floor. So that's all you get to see for the right knowledge. And let's angle this a bit so that you guys can see me better. And I'm so glad you guys joined me today. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are absolutely amazing. Join me again on the next stream, which will be in a few days, when we can finish this up. And as always, guys, I love your faces. Stay amazing. And we'll see you in the next amazing streamer video, guys. Bye.